Welcome back to Sass with Cass, and welcome to this episode of Call Cass. As per usual, thank you for all the questions. I'm so excited to get into it. Hell yeah. We're in my dad's office. We are on my podcast mic. We're chopping it up old school. Let's fucking do it. It is currently Easter Monday. Y'all, I have worked this whole damn Easter. I have just worked and worked and worked and worked and worked this whole Easter like a horse. I'm putting food on the table. Okay. But PSA. I have my new models course, Models Glow, launching on April 30th. It is about inner beauty, inner radiance, how to connect to your true self. It is about how to get that external glow because you're glowing up internally. Yeah, because when we do the energetic work, that means the things that we all feel the need to stick on the outside aren't as important. Because you light up from within, bitch. I don't know about you. I want to light up from within. Are you fucking kidding? Hell yeah, let's go. So if you're interested in that, by the time this comes out, which is possibly today or tomorrow, it will not be live. But on the 30th of April, it will be live. So I will see you there. If you're interested in this podcast and you're interested and you listen to Sass with Cass, I can guarantee you are going to fucking love the course. And I don't know about you guys, but I've been in a real rut. Like, I've kind of been in my flop era. Like, I was sitting this morning having my coffee and I was like, no. Like, I just feel like I've kind of dropped the ball with a lot of my self-care practices recently. And 2025 has been wild. Like, the astrology for 2025 is also wild. I'm just going to let you know that. It is a... yeah, it's a year of endings. And next year is a year of new beginnings. So take that as you will. But I just really feel like I have been struggling to get to the gym. I have lost interest in a lot of the personal development things that used to bring me a lot of joy. And I'm finding my way back to them. And I was before I jumped on the mic, I was actually just having a conversation with my boyfriend about positive thinking. And just saying to him, we need to start getting a bit more positive because I know for myself, I've just been really in a negative space recently. And so I'm excited for this course because I think this course is such a turbo booster to get you out of a rut. Really, if you're feeling down, if you're not on your ballpark, not on your game, not on your ballpark, not where you want to be, I think it is just, yeah, I don't know. It's such a good way to plug into that and to find some happiness and some motivation. So anyway, let's jump into the call cast questions and get started. The first question is, what is one sign from the universe that you always pay attention to? Okay, so I have this one sign that's really special to my mum and I, and it's actually an animal, so it's an owl. Owls are really special to me, and I used to see owls everywhere, and then one time I was having a conversation with my cousin Nikki, and she was like, well, you know why owls are so significant? And it turns out that my granddad, who passed basically the same day I was born, or a few days before I was born, he was obsessed with owls, and he used to collect owls, and he had all these owl pendants and whatnot, and every time I've had a psychic reading, he's come through, and I see owls everywhere. And so that is one sign that I always pay attention to, and so does my mum. Recently, I've been seeing a lot of owls, and they will pop up in the most random places. It'll be when I'm paying for, coffee, or I was buying takeout sushi and they had a little owl sculpture on the side. I was watching a YouTube video and the person being interviewed had an owl on their t-shirt. Just these really weird... And the other reason I pay attention to it is because it's such an uncommon animal. It's not you're seeing owls everywhere, it's not oh, the sign is a Labrador. It is. Also, I feel like my mic is a little bit loud. Let's see if that makes a difference. I think that is a little bit better. Yeah, so I don't know. It's just not a common animal. So I do really pay attention when I see my owls. So to answer your question, that is one sign that I always pay attention to. And I think... I don't know, this is going to ruffle, this is a kind of controversial opinion. I'm sort of not that big into angel numbers. I used to when I was younger, and maybe I just need to connect with them again, but something like the owl to me is so much more personal. Like, I feel like it's so unique and special, and it really feels like it's him talking to me and giving me a sign. Whereas just seeing like 222 is not, I don't know, it just doesn't kind of hit the same. But then I guess if you don't have like such a clear symbol like an owl, I can see why angel numbers can be really significant to you. So everyone is different. Everyone is different. Okay, let's get into like a bit of a juicy question. So this question was too long to go into the chat bot, so I'm gonna read it out. So essentially, basically I vent to my friends, cool Cass, question is too long. Basically I vent to my friends about issues my partner and I have and seek advice on how to deal with the rough patches, because I can't deal with the heavy chest and overthinking thoughts. My friends say nasty stuff about my boyfriend, saying I deserve better. He doesn't treat me good enough and basically telling me to leave him. I struggled with hearing this and they knew it was harsh. I'm very honest and tell my partner everything, so I said to him, she told him what the girls had said about him, and he obviously felt very hurt and I was too. My partner and I resolved our issues, but he didn't like that my friends put those breakup thoughts into my head, so he told me he would like me to distance myself from my friends. I then went and told my friends I was hurt by what they said and asked for space. I miss them a lot, and yes, they probably didn't mean what they said, but I also don't want to lose my boyfriend. He said it's either me or your friends and I have to choose one. So I've decided to take a break from messaging the girls, but I want the best of both worlds. But if it makes my partner feel uncomfortable and uneasy with those friends, I don't know what to do. Honestly, I think I also have to work on not telling people all my issues, and I need to learn how to deal with the heavy chest and anxiety alone. But I've only just noticed this has become an issue and I need assistance. Okay, so I love this question. I love this question, and I think there's a lot of things to tap onto and talk about here. Firstly, the advice I want to give. When we are seeking advice, we are obviously talking about, in general, negative experiences. Because if you were having a super positive experience, you basically wouldn't need advice. Now, the problem that you can come into is for your friends, you can actually, if you're constantly asking them for advice about your boyfriend, you can actually paint him in a really negative light. So the first thing I want to ask you all and anyone listening to ask yourself, and it doesn't even have to be about a boyfriend, what light are you painting people in? Because if you constantly talk about the bad and you never talk about the good, and let's be real, as humans, it's very unlikely, for us to have big conversations about what's good. Like, to just sit down with your friends and be like, oh, my boyfriend and I are just amazing. Like, I've definitely said that before and shared when things are great. But then your friends are just like, oh my God, that's so cool. And they move on. Whereas when something's bad, you're like hashing it out. There's 3 girls and then you're like, no. And it's not really your friend's fault if you're only feeding them the negative about this guy. So I think they've kind of painted a picture in this because you've said you're offloading a lot of anxiety about the relationship. Your friends are only hearing the negative, and that's why they've come up with this suggestion to leave him. Additionally, when you're not in the relationship, I feel like giving relationship advice when you're not in a relationship is so easy. Like, you hear your friend be like, oh, this happened, and you're like, leave him. Easy, simple, leave him. But then when you're in the relationship, there's all these nuances, and like at the end of the day, it is like super common for couples to work through anything and everything and all this kind of stuff. So I think there's this person has come to, it's come to their attention at the end of the message. And this is the advice I would give, is just be really careful about who you're asking relationship advice from, because everyone is going to have a bias. So if you're asking a recently single friend about your happy relationship, if that friend's just gotten cheated on, they're going to have a negative bias. So my rough rule is don't ask relationship advice from someone who you wouldn't be in their relationship. I'm not saying don't share with your friends, but this is where something like a therapist, a paid professional, or even like I always say proper adult, even though I'm totally an adult and 28 years old, someone older than you with a bit more life experience and wisdom, to take stuff to your friend group repetitively and consistently, like a friend group that's your age. Of course, the girls are kind of going to get offside. Like, you almost sort of can't blame them. And I think just being really honest with yourself and being like, what light have I painted my boyfriend in? And when you're in a relationship, you really learn, like, you need to protect your partner. And it's amazing that you tell your partner everything. But like, one thing I also want to raise is like, she went to her partner and told him that her friends had said they think she should break up with him. Now, I don't have any insight into what he's done here, so I don't know if that's like warranted. But I will say, there's an argument for being honest with your partner, but there's also just such an argument for protecting them. Like, the girls have obviously said that in response to the bad things you've been saying, and I just personally don't think he needed to know that, because what then happens is exactly the situation you're in where your friends and your boyfriend are offside. And that's a really, really tough position to be in. So the next time, or anyone in this situation, it kind of happens, you're very capable of just taking a pause. Like, if your friends say something to you like that and you want to tell your partner, just take a pause. Be like, can I give this a week for this situation to cool down, and then decide if it's an appropriate thing to share with him? Because your friends could change their opinion on a dime if he changes his behavior. So I think it's really hurtful for him to hear that. And I think in hindsight, it's probably not the best thing to share with your partner. For their own sanity, and until the heat of and the eye of the storm has passed, because then your friends might be like, oh, hey, he's really changed his tune, like, we're sorry that we said that or whatnot. Now, what I really don't like about this experience is, also, by the way, I am saying always be honest with your partner. I'm just saying think about how and when you share information with them, and just protect them, you know, like. And also, you're probably not protecting them if you're constantly talking about your relationship to your friends. I think as I've gotten a bit older, it's just really not the go. It's really, really not the go to be. In fact, you'd kind of almost. One of my friends said to me about my boyfriend Jed, she was like, I knew he was kind of the one for you when you never talked about it. Like, when I talk to you about it, you're just like, oh, it's great. Like, we're organizing this to do together. She's like, you have never just picked up the phone and been like, oh my God, like, I don't know what to do. And she was like, I know it's the right guy for you because you've just been so peaceful. So, I don't know, food for thought in a lot of ways. Lastly, I really don't like that he has given you an ultimatum. I don't think your partner should ever give you an ultimatum. And I would probably be sitting him down and being like, look, my friends have said that because of behavior you were doing that was upsetting me. It's their opinion in the moment, and it's totally inappropriate for you to tell people for me to cut them out of my life. Like, I just think that is so, so inappropriate for a partner to do. You should never, ever, ever ask the person you're with, unless someone has been like physically or seriously, mentally or emotionally like abusive to you. I just do not think that's right. So I would kind of be sitting him down and being like, look, I know it was hurtful, but one thing I've really learned is to be careful with who I'm sharing this stuff to. So I'm really going to do that going forward. But they've said this because XYZ had happened in our relationship, and I don't deserve to be punished because of something they've said. I was trying to do the right thing and tell you and be honest with you. So I really don't like that from him. I think it's manipulative. I think it's borderline, like, I just really, really, really don't like that from him. And if he can't accept you having friends that have opinions, yeah, I mean, people might disagree with me on that, but those are my major points. So be careful who you ask advice from. Don't ask relationship advice from anyone who's not in a relationship you wouldn't want to have, basically. Work on your own anxiety and question whether you want to stay in this with someone who's making you feel like this. Go to an adult, go to a therapist, and set your boundaries with your partner that you are going to still have your friend. That is my summation and snapshot of that question. Thank you so much for asking it. Someone asked me, do you wear your colours or wear what you want? So interesting. So anyone who's had their colours done, I'm actually really interested in your opinion on this and if it's good and a good thing to do. I haven't had my colours done at all. I really enjoy wearing colour. I feel like the brighter the colour, the better I look. I think I really blend in when I wear black. I do really love wearing white. I wear a lot of white, wear a lot of colour. Like I love a yellow, I love a pink, I love a blue recently. Blue has been like a really popular colour for me, like a royal blue. So yeah, I absolutely adore colour. I've never had like my proper ones done. I basically wear all silver or white jewellery. It's like a very rare day that I wear gold. Like I feel like I just never got on that trend. All the girls are obsessed with gold jewelry and it looks so amazing on them, and I see girls with gold jewelry and I'm just so like captivated, but I just haven't built my gold collection and I really don't have much. But I would love to, like one day, be such a dream to have like silver and gold. I had some really, really incredible earrings of mine stolen and I had to have them replaced through my insurance, and ever since then I have just like literally had a fear of taking my jewelry off. And those earrings are like white gold or silver. They match my necklace. They're from Tiffany & Co. It's a necklace I wear in like every photo, and I'm just, after having them stolen, I just literally cannot take them off because I'm so scared. Next question. I love this. I think maybe I'll jump into some kind of like spiritual and motivational questions for a little bit. If your highest self could text you right now, what do you think she'd say? Guys, how good is that as a question? Like, I am obsessed with that question. And wherever you are, if you're on a walk, if you're driving, if you're walking, hanging out, listening to this, ask yourself that question. Like, if your higher self could text you right now, what do you think she'd say? Isn't that so fascinating? I think my higher self would text me and say, don't get caught up in drama that isn't yours, and remember who you are. I think that's what she would say to me. I've had a period in my life where things that actually aren't to do with me nearly at all feel like they're driving my car and steering my ship and pulling my emotional resource, my bandwidth, my energy. And this is a common problem in my life. I've really struggled with somehow finding myself immersed in situations, breakdowns, breakups, drama that really isn't my own. And I'm doing quite a lot of self-reflecting on this because obviously I'm involving myself and obviously I need to set better boundaries. And I think it's just because I'm the first person to help, but I kind of help everyone, and I'm learning that I need to help myself and I need to put myself first. And I've always heard that quote, like, you need to choose yourself. And it's never really rung true for me, but recently I've kind of gone and like really been challenging myself and thinking, what would it look like for me to put myself first right now? What would it look like for me to put myself first today, this morning, at work? Like just really pulling myself up on where can I nourish me? Because I am so quick to give. Like, I am the quickest person to give ever. And yeah, I don't know. I really think she would tell me something about that. She would tell me to keep my focus and not get distracted, and to not let my spirit be crushed by the weight of other people's shit, really. But I think that's such a really fantastic question for anyone out there. What would your higher self text you right now, and what do you think she'd say? He or she would say, or they, them, whoever. The next question, and I really like this as well, it's another question that all the listeners can kind of think about. What advice has really stuck with you recently? Now, I actually have such a good thing to share on this. I was watching a podcast that Kris Jenner was on. It was so random. Like, it was nighttime. I was just on, YouTube dark hole. We all do. Who loves a YouTube dark hole? I feel like YouTube has come back so much recently. If you're not on your YouTube buzz, get on it. Like, I feel like we're kind of moving off TikTok and moving towards that long form content again. And I'm really seeing an increase in YouTubers. I'm just going to have a quick drink of water. Sorry, chatting away here. So what's one piece of advice that has really stuck with you recently? So Kris Jenner said on this podcast, she was asked the same question, and she said the advice I would give to people, entrepreneurs, young people in their 20s, 30s who are trying to come up or go for big jobs or carry themselves well was, she actually said, have a clean car. She's like, have a clean car. And she said, anyone I hire, especially in the early days, she would actually send someone out to look in the person's car who drove up. And she was like, anyone who has like mushed French fries down the side of the car, like mushed rubbish and shit everywhere and clothes from last week, I think she was like, it just tells you so much about a person and a person's mindset. And she was like, the first car I ever had was this red Mazda 3 or something. And she was talking about how she used to keep it in the most pristine condition. Like, she'd take it to be washed twice a week. She'd vacuum it. She would, if the mat wore out, she'd save her money and get a little mat. And she like kept this car in pristine condition. And she's really said like her opinion on an employee is based on how clean they keep their car. And her major point of that, she went on to say, was take excellent care of your things. And I think that is just such fabulous, fabulous, fabulous advice. Like, if you don't show respect and care for your current things, why the fuck would the universe give you more? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're not looking after what you have, why the fuck would you get more? And I can be messy in my bedroom. Like, I'll do like a big clean and like have everything organized, and then everything's a mess and then I need to do a big clean again. And often it's because I'm just in such a rush and I do so many things and I have such a big booked busy timetable that I'm like flying from one job to the next, to like events, to photo shoots, to like the gym. And actually creating the space to clean and keep organized. There's a great influencer on TikTok if you're interested in like cleaning motivation called Kylie Perkins, by the way, if you're interested in this kind of like, I don't know, she's almost like she screams at you about being clean, and it's just fantastic. If you watch her, you know what I mean. But I think Kris Jenner's advice is really good advice to all of us. Even if you don't have the dream car, even if you don't have the dream house or apartment, even if you don't have the dream wardrobe or your dream shoes, take pristine care of what you have now. Like, show it as much love as you can, because I think we all think, oh, when I have the space, then I'll be clean, then I'll be organized, then I'll go to the gym. But when you have that space, all that's going to happen is exactly who you are is going to arrive in it and make a mess. So have a super clean car, take excellent care of everything you have. And she said it's something that she really gave to her kids as well. Like, all her kids, all the Kardashians live by that. Like, just take excellent care of everything you have, be a clean, tidy person, and see your car and your room and your space as a reflection of your mindset. So that is some advice that has really stuck with me recently. I think it's really brilliant advice. And if you're interested, I can link the podcast she was on, because it was a very, very, very good podcast. I actually heard Melissa Wood's Health recently say something quite similar, where she said, if anyone's ever depressed, I tell them to start being excellent at what they do. Like, bring total excellence to everything. Like, excellently brush your teeth, excellently take a shower, like, excellently clean your bathroom, put everything back. Like, bringing that energy of a job well done and excellence to absolutely everything is something that Melissa said helped her with her depression. So I thought that was such an interesting question. Okay, next question. Someone said, hey, Cass, what is your favorite full moon ritual? Oh my gosh, guys, I love the full moon. How good is the full moon? And thank you to everyone who supported and enjoyed my full moon write-up on the Libra pink full moon recently. I've been through like a little bit of a journey with astrology and sharing astrology, because everybody absolutely loves when I share astrology. Like, everyone literally eats it up. People are obsessed. Like, every full moon, people will message me and be like, what's happening with the moon? And I stopped sharing about it because in person, it wasn't happening online, but in person, when I went out to drinks and stuff, people would make like mocking comments. Like, they'd kind of just mock me for it. And I don't think they meant to be. It was never my close friends. It was like friends of friends. But I felt like I was getting this reputation as a bit of a spiritual weirdo. And now that I've done, you know, some self-work and it's just all bullshit. Like, it's such a brilliant thing to be original and different. And that's everything I stand for. And I really shouldn't have let those comments get me down. But I just kind of felt kind of judged for it, if I'm honest with you. And I sort of thought, oh my God, does everyone else not like this? And I'm just posting this into the ether and everyone thinks I'm a fucking weirdo. So if you do enjoy the full moon stuff and you ever see me post it, it really means a lot to me when you engage with it, because I think so often people like see content they like and they just let it pass them by and they just assume that the person is just going to keep putting it out there. But if the content isn't well received, it's very likely that that creator will stop. And so that was really me with the full moon. Like, I kind of felt like no one was engaging with it. And then I stopped and everyone was like, whoa, no, I love that. Where is it? Where's the full moon stuff? And I'm like, well, fuck, like, nobody liked it when I was posting it. So if you do see me put it up, please, it would mean it's a bit of an insecurity of mine, honestly, like how spiritual I am. I'm trying to work on feeling really confident about my spirituality and like bringing it in and weaving it in and leaning into it more. So I am very, very spiritual. I love astrology. I used to kind of do astrology and tarot readings for people. That's my big fucking rant about astrology. So what is a full moon ritual? My favorite full moon ritual is to fill a cup of water, leave it outside under the moonlight, and write a word on a piece of paper and put it under the cup of water for the night. So the word could be money, love, success, abundance. It could be someone's name. It could be, you can be really specific. Like, it could literally be someone's name who you like. Like, I'm not kidding. And then when the next morning comes, I drink the water and I literally imagine myself consuming that wish. Like, I literally imagine it pouring into my body and becoming part of me. And this might sound insane, but I swear to God, the water tastes different every time. So there was a study done. I can also link this. I believe it was Dr. Miracomi, who studied water molecules. And when the water molecules had negative words spoken to them, they created a negative pattern. And when they had positive words spoken to them, they created a beautiful, like, snow lake, beautiful crystal structure. So it was proven that water changed based on the words spoken to it. Like, this is one study. Please don't come and message me and say, is this proper science? This is just a study that was done. I am not an expert on it. This is just my personal spiritual belief. I'm not saying this is fact. This guy found it to be fact. Whether you want to believe that or not is totally up to you. I believe spiritually that water holds meaning and holds the meaning of the word. And so when I drink the word, I am consuming my manifestation and bringing it to fruition. So that is my most favorite full moon ritual. Even if I don't have time to do anything else, I will do that. And it has been very, very, very successful for me. It has been weirdly successful. Some of the things I've written and drank in that cup of water have very, very, very much come true. So that is my absolute favorite. Someone asked me, if you were starting your self-care journey again, where would you start to not overwhelm yourself? Brilliant, 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 brilliant question. Okay, so I would start, and you know what, we're going to do this in Models Glow, my course that's releasing on the 30th. So if you want to know the real practice I would do, it's in there. But what I would honestly do is take inventory of exactly where my life is. So I would write categories. I'd write health, fitness, relationships, work, finances, fun, travel, what else is there? I'd kind of list categories, and I'd go, okay, how am I showing, like, what's working and what's not working? So I just get an idea on which category the pain point is sitting. Like, is this a case of you're overworking so you don't have enough time for self-care? Is this a case of you need to work better on your money habits? Is this a case of your friendships are really bringing you down? I would just pinpoint what's going right and what's going wrong. If I was at the very start, I wouldn't do more than that. I'd just take a mental note of that. And then I would really, oh my God, I'm so bad. Like, I literally want to tell you to do 100 different things. I just knocked my arm on my chair. I would first and foremost create a really simple morning routine. So I would commit to a morning walk and listening to a podcast, or a morning workout. I think that would be step one. I think moving the body, putting yourself first, allowing yourself space to think is so, it just is the connection to everything else. It really is. And I think you will find yourself, if you do that, the flow-on effect will be great. Like, it will be like you're going for a walk, you're moving your body in the morning, and now you're interested in diet. Now you're looking at your diet. Well, if I'm doing this in the morning, I'm not going to eat like shit. Okay, I'm up early in the morning. Maybe I'll throw in a meditation. I'll throw in using my LED mask. Now I'm more interested in skincare. I think if you just commit to a healthy habit in the morning, everything will come from that. Truly, I think that's my answer. And if you don't want to walk, if you don't want to go to the gym, if you don't want to do Pilates, even waking up 30 minutes earlier to meditate, use Insight Timer, use the Hot Girl Walks tracks, to journal, to read, to do anything. Give yourself time in the morning. And what will just happen beautifully is you will grow and expand that to a whole proper morning routine, because you will fall in love with it. You will fall in love with yourself. And I think that is a shortcut, game changer way to tell the universe that you come first. And through walking and through the podcast and through journeying, you'll probably find yourself reading self-help, learning more about it, going to therapy. Like, if I had to give you a quick stop shop, it would be movement, nutrition, mindset work like a therapist, or an online course, or something that can help you change your beliefs and your thoughts. That would be my top 3 in that situation. What is your favorite saying, quote for your energy, and your favorite affirmation? Oh my gosh, I love this question. What a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful question. Okay, let's have a think. I'm going a little bit rogue, but I'm answering this currently. So currently my favorite quote is actually a Bible verse. It's Romans 8:18, and the Bible verse is, "The pain that you've been feeling can't compare to the joy that is coming." And I think that's such a beautiful quote and has really resonated with me. And the other thing that, this is just so fucking rogue, guys, but something that really moved me recently was Timothy Chalamet's speech gosh, I need to find what the actual speech was. Let me see if I want to see if I can play it to you on the podcast. Let's see. Okay, so this is Timothy Chalamet. Is that how you say his name, guys? Truly, how the fuck do you say his name? He's has become the youngest SAG award lead actor winner for his portrayal of Bob Dylan in A Complete Unknown, okay? So I'm going to play you this and I'm going to check the audio and hopefully it's fine afterwards. Sorry, my boyfriend is texting me. Holy shit. Shh, Jed, okay. Let's see if we can play it.
And lastly, I can't downplay the significance of this award because it means the most to me. And I know we're in a subjective business, but the truth is I'm really in pursuit of greatness. I know people don't usually talk like that, but I want to be one of the greats. I'm inspired by the greats. I'm inspired by the greats here tonight. I'm as inspired by Daniel Day-Lewis, Marlon Brando, and Viola Davis as I am by Michael Jordan and Michael Phelps, and I want to be up there. So I'm deeply grateful to that. This doesn't signify that, but it's a little more fuel. It's a little more ammo to keep going. Thank you so much.
Okay, so that quote... I need to listen to this back and make sure it's okay. So that quote... I am really in pursuit of greatness. Oh, I love that quote. I'm really in pursuit of greatness. Like, I put that as my home screen banner because I think it is so rare to see someone just full-bodied own that. Like, I am really in pursuit of greatness. Like, I love that shit. And Tyler, the Creator, does that as well. I'm so inspired by people who just get up there and they're like, I am trying. Like, I am literally trying to be the best version of me. I think so many people chronically play down their attempts. I think we are obsessed with being chic and minimal and making everything just be like, oh yeah, that old thing. And I just love it when someone stands up there and they're like, no, I am trying to be a superhero right now. And like, this is like, I am so grateful for this. So those are my two favorite quotes right now, which is the pain that you've been feeling cannot compare to the joy that's coming, and I am really in pursuit of greatness. My favorite affirmation would be, I let myself be healthy. I let myself be beautiful. Definitely I let myself be healthy. And also I've been really into affirmations recently to affirm myself. Like, God, I'm real pop culture at the moment, but Khloe Kardashian said on Call Her Daddy, the advice, if she could say something to her season 1 self, she would say, you've done an excellent job. And I burst into tears because I think it's I've never heard someone say to me, like, you've done an excellent job at what you've built. And just hearing her say that to herself was something that meant a lot to me. So I've been affirming that to myself, like, you have done an excellent job. And I think that's a really beautiful affirmation to say to yourself, that you have done enough already. You don't need to keep doing more. You've done an excellent job at what you've built. So that would be my favorite affirmation right now. Ooh, this is a real goodie. Someone said, when you lived overseas, what made you decide to move home and when did you know it was time? So, I have lived overseas a lot. I should actually talk about it more because people must be really interested. I get asked about living overseas all the time. So, I lived in Manchester in the UK. I lived in New York. I've lived in Los Angeles. I've lived in Noosa, Australia. And I've lived here in Auckland, New Zealand. Now, with the UK and the USA, I had to come home because of situations and because of my visa. So with the UK, I was doing an exchange. So I was always going to come back. And then with the USA, my visa also ran out. If you know anything about the USA, it is a nightmare to get a visa. And I came back and COVID erupted. So my plan was to always move back, but then #COVID. My plan was actually to move to Paris or to move back to LA. I loved LA. Out of everywhere I've lived, LA was my favorite out of all of them by far. It was the place I really created a life for myself. Like, I really felt like I was my best self. Now, the move to Noosa, which if you don't know, my boyfriend and I do long distance. He lives in Noosa. We met when I was on holiday there. So that was quite different because I moved there essentially for our relationship. Now, what I hadn't I don't know if I've ever spoken about this on the pod. This is a little bit hot goss, guys. Basically, I hadn't really taken inventory of how powerful and important of a life I had built for myself in New Zealand. I'd been in New Zealand since 2019 and I'd kind of really come into my strength here, to be honest. And I was totally in love, still am, you know, we have a fantastic relationship. We're obviously still together. And I was just so in love with him, and I kind of naively thought, well, I do social media and you can do social media anywhere, which is in theory true. But I also, especially when you're kind of coming up and building your name on social media, you need to be around brands and events and the right people, or that's kind of how it felt to me. So I struggled in Noosa because I felt like I couldn't do my purpose. So quite a big thing. I couldn't fully be myself. I couldn't work in the industry. And to make it worse, I was having work come to me in New Zealand that I was having to turn down because I was there. Now, if I had been in Sydney, Melbourne, Gold Coast, somewhere with a bit more going on and more opportunity, that wouldn't have been the case because I would have been able to replace those opportunities with new opportunities. Noosa is like the most beautiful place on earth. I absolutely love it. It has such a big piece of my heart and I will always go back there and always adore it. I would love to have a house there one day, but it is fundamentally more of a lifestyle place. There are like social media things. There's definitely more up and coming. You can definitely travel down to Brisbane. You can definitely make it work. I think for me in the position I'm in, I just built such a strong name and brand in New Zealand. And at the point in my career in my 20s, I just realized I wasn't in the position to move away from that. And it started to get really hard. It started to get really hard on my heart. And I started to slip into a very bad place mentally. It started to impact our relationship because I was growing resentful when in reality it wasn't his fault at all. If anything, he tried to warn me of it before I moved, but I was just headstrong and didn't listen, and I was sick of long distance. And so, yeah, the other reason was my flat at the time disintegrated due to unforeseen circumstances, and I was having a really big trip to Europe. So the plan kind of became to go back home. The flat was breaking up anyway. No point signing a new flat when I was going to be traveling for over a month, didn't want to be paying rent, and I was flying out from New Zealand to Europe anyway. So my boyfriend and I were considering moving somewhere else in Australia, and then because of his work, that didn't happen, and then we went back to long distance and I ended up here. Long story short, it was an absolute shit show. It was the whole of last year. I felt like I didn't really have a plan or a home. I felt like I had one foot in Australia, one foot in New Zealand. It was really stressful, honestly, on my soul. It's not my choice and not how I thought it would play out. But I think I knew to come home when I felt chronically unhappy. Like I felt upset every single day. And I felt like, just the brutal truth is I felt like there was more for me in Auckland than there was in the Sunshine Coast, apart from my relationship. Obviously, I would never put my boyfriend in that category because he's the best and he's amazing, but it's unfair on any relationship to have to take the full capacity of your soul and your happiness. Like, you know, your career brings you happiness, your friends bring you happiness, your network brings you happiness, your parents bring you happiness. And if you trade all that for a relationship, it's a lot of pressure on the relationship. And I know that he could feel that too. So I'm really grateful with how he handled it. I'm grateful with how he supported me to come back. He has traveled lots to New Zealand. He's put a lot into our relationship. We've both put a lot into our relationship. We're in a really good place. Like, it was not because of him at all. It was purely just because of me. And it was a really great learning lesson of actually who I am. And I don't think I realized how good what I'd created for myself was until I left it. So that was a really big, yeah, I don't know, a big lesson for me. So I don't know if that's helpful because I haven't really given you direct advice, but I think what really rings true for me is like when you know that there is more for you somewhere else. Like, or you're just in a perpetual... I was so homesick. Like, Jed would be able to tell you, I was so homesick. Like, I was struggling with it so much. Like, crying on the phone, crying on the floor kind of thing. It was really hard for me. And I wasn't expecting it because I'd left so many times and moved so many places further away. But for some reason, as an adult and as a more established adult with a more established network, I missed my network a lot more than I thought I would. Yeah. Okay, very last question, and then I'm going to wrap this up. So I haven't gotten to all the questions, by the way. Thank you so much for all your questions. Hopefully I will get to them in the next one. How to meet people when you don't have friends to introduce you, you work out of town, and you don't drink. Okay, my answer to this. Number 1 is going to be apps and online. Number 2 would be through your hobbies. So I would be joining a gym, and I would also be like literally in the gym going up to people and saying hi. I would do other hobbies, anything you can, like painting, any sport, join a social sport team, join a touch team, join a netball team. Any way you can socialize it, even if it's not your preferred choice, and just say yes to everything. And this kind of dovetails into what I was saying on my last question is when I was overseas, I would literally say yes to everything. Like anyone who wants to hang out with you, anyone who wants to be a friend with you, just say yes because you meet people through them and that's how you establish and like find a bit of a network. So get out there, go do things socially. And the other thing is like, social media gets such a bad rep, but I would actually start posting on social media consistently because I have made so many friends through my social media. It is nuts. Like, and it doesn't mean you have to like become an influencer and have all these followers, but literally just start posting about yourself and posting about what you like. And you would be so surprised how many people you can meet through that. Like it's honestly crazy, and it sounds dumb because like that's why social media was invented, right? Like it was obviously invented so that people could socialize, lol. But I just truly like don't count out social media. Use it for what it is meant for. And I'm not talking about like have Tinder friend, you know, like actually just I don't know, like post on social media. You'll be really surprised, and join some teams, even if you're listening to this being like, oh my god, cannot be fucking fucked starting in a sports team. So anyway, that's my advice on that one. Thank you so much for your questions, guys. It's so much fun chatting to you. I love doing this. I love this stuff. I love hanging out. I love all your questions. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.